I was just saying, I mean, between all these events, Republican voters could start to go, maybe it shouldn't be Donald Trump. Maybe we should start to take a look at one of these alternatives, especially knowing that Nikki Haley may have a stronger chance. I mean, all things being equal, Nikki Haley may have a stronger chance of beating Joe Biden than Donald Trump does. At least some of the polls have indicated that. So it seems to me there's a solid argument. If you're a Republican voter or if you're the Republican Party, you're thinking, oh my God, maybe it's not Donald Trump. Maybe there's a reason to start to rally behind Nikki Haley or Chris Christie or a combination of the two of them instead of nominating Donald Trump. I see that as a very distinct possibility. Is Donald Trump worth the trouble, given the fact that there's a very solid chance that he's going to lose to Joe Biden in November? And on top of the fact that he's going to be probably convicted at least once of a series of crimes in one of these various venues that he's been indicted under. And so there are all kinds of things that could lead us into this realm of possibility that Donald Trump does not end up becoming the nominee for his party. Now, again, as I said, that's a remote possibility, but it's still a possibility, don't you think?
Oh, absolutely. So I mean, I come to this sort of conversation with, as I said, the full expectation he'll be the nominee. Again, it's hard taking somebody on who you know will not play on the playing field as you will, who will do anything and everything, right? And will take everything down with them, right? Somebody that's willing to burn it all down.
Yeah.
And so the problem is, here. So let's start with, yes, absolutely. Because look, Nikki Haley's within 14 points or less in New Hampshire, and independents can vote there, as I said, and she could pull out a victory there, right? And then South Carolina,
man, her home
comes
state.
Up soon afterwards. It's her home state. If she can hold off and not have a Marco Rubio or a Kasich, if she can hold on to her state's voters, then and win there, yes, then she'd be in terrific shape. The problem, as I see it, is that this guy is going, if she wins, let's say early on, he will threaten in some way that his voters will stay home.
Yeah.
And then he'll tell his voters to stay home. And then Republicans have to rethink that. Do we want to, this crazy motherfucker, do we want to take a chance that he really is going to do that, which I think he absolutely would, because he'd probably see it as, that gives me a better chance to win in 4 years, even though any actuarial table will tell you it's a miracle if he's here in 4 years. But I mean, I'm thinking
like the way you think, man. I like that a lot. Well, I like to contemplate that possibility. Thank you.
I'm not wishing it. I promise I'm not. I'm being good. But
forgive me if I am, because I might be. I might actually.
Okay,
be
that's fair.
that,
I mean, I could be too. Who knows?
Natural causes, then maybe.
But when Captain Pill Popper there, Ronnie Jackson was like, he's going to live. He's strong as a bull. He's going to live to 326 years old. When you looked at the actual medical reports that were produced, it showed the beginning of heart disease. He already had. I don't know how far along he was in it, but regular doctors, I'm not one of them, looked at it and said, we have heart disease here. The man eats like, again, a child. Yeah. He eats fast food. He doesn't believe in diet. He thinks it makes him stronger to not work out because that's...
Oh, right. We talked about this, I think, at some point.
I mean, this is such base Republican thinking. If I work out, I'm weak. Yeah. I'm strong by being natural me.
Well, he thinks that you have a certain allotment of heartbeats during your lifetime. And if you use up those heartbeats by making your heart beat more rapidly through exercise, then you're going to die sooner. That's Donald Trump's actual rationale behind lifespans. Yeah.
Right. And then you have to think about the fact that, he came very close to, as far as we know, dying from COVID, which may have left some permanent effects, certainly at that age. I mean, they pumped every experimental drug into the guy to keep him alive you can imagine. I mean, so I'm just saying, he's in awful shape. Mm-hmm. He does awful things to his body, and he's enraged all the time. Not good for you folks to be enraged all the time. Releases bad chemicals into your body. So, I mean, within 4 years, like, I don't even know how the hell we got on this. I was making a point, when I was saying I don't know that he would. Oh, okay. My point was,
we were talking about basically what if
if he brings down
Nikki.
Nikki Haley, he sees it as he can run again in 4 years, maybe. And so what I'm saying is, is there a non-zero chance? Is there a chance that it won't be him? Yes, in a way that I didn't think so 6 or 9 months ago. A number of events, as you said, the fact that I would have never thought that the Colorado court or even the Secretary of State in Maine and these things would happen, where he could be kicked off the ballot, which that's our democracy working. That's good. I wouldn't have thought that he would have 91 indictments by now. I thought that there are a few things that were going to get him on, but so any of those turn to actual, you've been convicted of a crime. Yes, there's some of the lunatics who are like, I'll vote for him even if he's going to be in prison as president, but a decent number who aren't quite as crazy won't. I mean, there are definitive events that could change things.
Yeah.
But I will say, I think, I think if he's the nominee, Biden's the president. I think if he's not the nominee, there's even more chance Biden's the president at this point, because he tells his people to stay home, because he does not care about any of this stuff.
That's exactly it. I'm not worried about Nikki Haley becoming the nominee, because if she does become the nominee, there's a greater chance that Donald Trump is going to split the Republican Party, effectively killing it. And that's the thing that we've all been anticipating all this time and hoping for, is that not only does Trump go down, but this Republican Party that platformed this guy also goes down. And I'm talking, it's not just me as a liberal Democrat talking here. There have been many never-Trumpers, for example, who have also said, you know what, this Republican Party has to die. It's not just about Donald Trump. This party that I was a part of for how many years has to go away. And that's Nikki Haley getting the nomination, or Chris Christie, or Ron DeSantis, or one of these others getting the nomination, and it's not Donald Trump. That's going to send the red hats batshit. There are going to be accusations of vote tampering. He's probably going to blame the Democrats for that too, but he's going to go after primarily
blame the Democrats, or they'll blame certain Republicans the way Carrie Lake blamed the longtime Republican chair of the Board of Election in Maricopa County, the really large, disproportionately large county that's Phoenix and others areas. I think Flagstaff's in it, whatever. I don't need to be a freaking geographic expert here. But the point being, it's a large part of that state. And that guy had to go into hiding with his family because Carrie Lake accused him of being a rhino, even though this guy's been a Republican for ever, conservative, So I would say that, very realistically, you're going to see, even you may not see them say, "Oh, well, it's the Democrats who did this," but whichever Republicans who don't support him will be rhinos and will be Democrat enabling blah 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 and traitors and this and that. So he'll undermine whoever it is, which will also undermine their efforts in the House. It'll be really interesting to see then what the ultra crazies in the House, like Marjorie Taylor Greene and Boebert and others, Matt Gaetz, who've endorsed Trump, do. Are they going to get behind another Republican candidate if Trump refuses to? I mean, if they don't, in the end, if Trump gets all these people to stay home, it's their asses. I mean, Gaetz, and now that Bobo has run away, like the coward she is, to another more Republican district than the one she was in, maybe she can hold on. Maybe they all can hold on because they're in such Republican districts. Yeah. But every Republican in a Biden district is dead, and I would probably say dead politically, in case anybody's accusing me of anything. And I would say anywhere up to about 7 to even 8 or 9 or 10 point Republican districts, they could be toast.